Have you been considering getting a coach and or mentor? Well, today I want to share with you the power of getting a coach and or mentor. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then as well. My first experience in this area was in 2019. Although I realized officially hiring one, I realized in the workplace I'd had mentors, I had coaches, I had a manager who was coaching and mentoring me, and I actually had a coach, a free coach given to me in the organization as well. And when I hired one in 2019, it was to help me write books. And this is really important for your confidence, because if you learn from someone, you have someone back who's got your back, someone who can challenge you. And I'll explain the difference between mentoring and coaching in a minute. That can really speed up your process of improving yourself and therefore more confidence. And then when I got her, it exposed me to this whole world of personal growth and lots more. And then since then, I jumped into all sorts of coaching things, mentoring things, and I still do to this day to get me special expertise in areas. Now, what is the difference between the two, right? A coach is someone who's not always necessarily better than you in the area you're being coached in. So, for example, a life coach is more there to guide you over your choices, but they've got a skill of helping you perhaps see some challenges, some limiting thoughts that are coming up that you're not even aware of, and actually getting you from A to B, helping you get from A to B. Now, a mentor is someone who is better than you in a certain area. So you may want to go look for someone in business who's going to mentor you, and they've grown like several six-figure businesses before, and you've never started one. Now, that would probably be a bit of an investment to jump into that, and I'm going to go on to that in a minute. I highly suggest it, because your return on investment would be incredible if you get the right person with the right testimonials. And we're going to dive into some points on what you consider in a minute. And someone can be a combination of a coach and mentor. Like for me, I've mentored people on like how they can boost their self-esteem, because it's something I've done. I've mentored people in podcasting. How can you start and grow a podcast? But there's other areas like I've coached people in areas around like sometimes their marriage a little bit before. Now, I've never been married, so I'm not a mentor in that area. Yet I've been able to guide them, help them see maybe some of the challenges that they were saying out loud because of my ability to listen and to guide them. And ultimately, coaching is about helping them develop their own actions and their own decision, but you've got a certain skill set to be able to do that. And the best coaches can really listen really well and ask really good questions that get you to some real breakthroughs and realizations. Like in one moment, your entire life could change from just something you've realized. And that's why I believe so much the investment of coaching and mentoring. A coach can also help you see your blind spot. A mentor would do that as well. Help you see your blind spots. They're able to, like, where you're like, okay, and say, can you see what's happening here? And you're like, what? I had a session with Joseph McClendon the other day in our group one, and he's one of the best ultimate performance specialists on the planet. Tony Robbins business partner, lead speaker, and I'm very, got a lot of gratitude that I'm able to have the group calls with him. And I asked him a question I was having a difficult personal challenge the other week. A couple of things were coming up for me, a couple of fears were coming up. And I said, look, Joseph, and I like to be with a coach or mentor, I'm always transparent because it doesn't help you lying, right? You got to start with the truth. And I was like, look, Joseph, I'm developing myself in this area of life. I'm really, really growing. And the more you grow, when you come up against barriers, it's good. It's a good sign because it shows you're growing. And he asked me a question, and then I answered it. And then he looked at like a tiny bit of body language, and he pointed out what I was doing. He said, there's a little bit of lack of clarity there, Johnny. And I was like, wow, he's so true. He is so right. And I was like, I did not even realize that. And he's one of the world's best. He could notice a tiny, tiny little bit of body language I did. That's why I believe in these guys. They can change your life, right? So ask yourself this, like if you're thinking, I want a coach or mentor, but maybe I could do it myself. Is that really doing you any favors? Like when I was trying to do it myself, it wasn't. And I'm going to be brutal because I've talked about this in recent guest episodes. I've not published them all yet, admittedly. Like I've heard the comment, why can't, there's a lot of free information out there. I may just go it alone. And I almost got into a debate with one of my friends the other day because he was like, why'd you pay, I don't know how much it was, like £1,000 for Tony Robbins? And I appreciate not everyone's got different financial situations. And I said, well, if you can afford it, going to a 4-day event with Tony Robbins, who charges $1 million a year for a 5-year waiting list, and gets like his the individuals he works with like 10 times the investment, and I get to learn from him over a few days, that's definitely a return on investment because I've done it before, right? And I know people have got different opinions on that, but yeah, it was I didn't get into that debate. I just respected he was coming from his model of the world, and we've always got to respect people are coming from their own view. Anyway, just for that event. So it's really like, he said, why can't you do it at the free? It was like, just use the free stuff out there. If we wanted to do it, if you wanted to do it with the free stuff, you would have done it already. You would be where you want to be. There's a reason you're not, and that's because you're not seeing your blind spots. You've not got someone who's going to make you commit enough. You've not got the accountability. There is enough free stuff out there. There's not a shortage of strategy out there in terms of free stuff. The reason a coach or mentor is going to really help you is because of that accountability, that being able to challenge you, being able to guide you. The best athletes in the world have coaches. The best celebrities, actors, all sorts, they all have coaches. Notice a pattern? Well, I certainly did. And that's why I got myself a writing coach to begin with, and then business coach, and then things like health coaches in certain areas. Okay. So let's go into some points now. Okay. On how you can pick the right coach or mentor. And be warned, obviously, the best are going to, be a bit of an investment, but there's always options of how you can get started with someone so you can build yourself up. There's different options, right? So the first one is know what you want. If you don't know what you want, who do you know how to contact? And there are quite a lot of good marketers out there who will convince you that you need their stuff, right? So be very clear on what you want actually. Is it you want to lose some weight? Is it you want more energy, or a combination of both? Is it you want to find your dream relationship? Is it you want to earn more money in general? Is it you want to start a business? What is it you want? You've got to be very clear, and it's got to come from you, because you don't know where to look if you don't know what you're looking for. The second one, who has got results in that area? And then don't just think, they sound like they know what they're talking about. Actually do a little bit of research. What are some of their testimonials? What are people saying about them? What other results have you heard? That's why I like to get video testimonials of people I work with. Very kindly will just say a few kind words about me, and that builds confidence to people coming in to work with me in the past. Like, oh wow, I can see that person's got some great results, right? Therefore, maybe I'll get similar if I get the opportunity to work with Johnny. So who has got results, right? And I've always been cautious that, like, I appreciate some people starting out, and sometimes if you're someone right now who's listening, you're starting out as a coach or something like that, I would suggest that you do a little bit of free coaching to begin with, just because then you can actually get some results from people under your belt, and then you can go out and start upping your price over time. Anyway, who's got results, right? I've also done something where I've been part of a fitness community, and the challenge was like $90 for like 8 weeks. But I could see those huge results from them, like people who've gone through it before. And then the third thing is just to contact them, get in contact with someone who resonates with you. Now, obviously, use a little bit of common sense. If you're seeing people who help clients, make like 5 figures a month consistently, they're not going, don't contact them and think it's going to be a couple of $100, and they're going to do single sessions. No, that's not going to happen, right? They're obviously going to be charging like 5 figures themselves to work with them, okay? Maybe 4 figures if you're lucky in some cases. So then go and contact people, okay? Now, quite a lot of these people, admittedly, will want you to have a phone conversation with you. So just be prepared for that. And also be prepared that you may have to make a decision. But as they say, one of the great quotes from Think and Grow Rich is successful people make decisions very quickly and change them very slowly. And unsuccessful people make decisions very slowly and change them very quickly. So when you want something, or look at something, don't spend ages looking around, right? Actually know what you want and then jump on board with it as much as possible. And then my final point for you really is when looking for a coach or mentor, write it down. What are the kind of qualities you want to see in a coach or mentor? What do you want from them? Be very, very clear on that, because that is going to help you. Do you want hard accountability? Do you want to learn certain skills? What is it you want from a coach or mentor? Okay. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.